Is now on KTVU's political analyst Brian Sobel. Okay, this big rally in Phoenix tonight. What's the president trying to do?
Thank you.
Re-energize and energize the base. You remember his whole world started in Arizona, and so he's going back to say, thank you, I'm back. We're going to talk about the wall again, I guess. What's interesting is the timing of it coming on the heels of the Afghan discussion, where he gave a good speech. And it seems like when he gives a great speech or a good speech, the next day or 2 days later, it seems to be undone by kind of Trump rhetoric that ends up occurring in these town halls and things.
Yeah, this will most likely be an unscripted speech. But as you mentioned, this is familiar territory, friendly territory, and a familiar topic, immigration. But do you think that his visit, this speech tonight, is really going to highlight the hurdles that the president has, and that is making promises on the campaign trail and the difficulties in trying to fulfill them once you're in office?
Well, it's a great question, because what did he say in his speech last night? I had a certain opinion coming in, but when you sit behind the Oval Office desk, other factors come into play. I'd love to see tonight a little change in the rhetoric, a little bit more reality around, you know, I thought maybe I could just build a wall because I build things.
Right.
But not so easy in a political environment with lots of different opinions. I'm not sure we're going to see that.
And he's going into Arizona, which used to be reliably red, but is starting to trend a little bit towards purple. Jeff Flake is the Republican senator from there. He's up for re-election. Trump has been bashing him on Twitter, and he's kind of stood up to the president. So talk about the president's relationship with senators like Jeff Flake and Mitch McConnell, who apparently they're not even talking to each other anymore, according to the New York Times.
Well, yeah, again, a great question. What's happening is that the Republican Party, I think, is now coming into the game. We go back in time and remember that Donald Trump, I'm going to use the word, hijacked the Republican Party to get to the presidency. He was a populist, not a Republican, could have been a Democrat. It was the vehicle. And everybody said, hey, we got a Republican in the White House, we can do a bunch of things. Now, on policy issues, you're starting to see the cracks in the veneer. And when you're taking the top guy in the Senate on, who's a Republican, and saying, I don't think you're doing your job, and you fumbled the ball on health care and that sort of thing, eventually that person says, hey, enough. And that's also true for these other senators.
All right. That speech coming up later tonight
yes.
at 7 o'clock. We'll be watching it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Thanks, Brian.